Vanilla Sky is a 2001 American science fiction psychological thriller film starring Tom Cruise as a magazine publisher who begins to question reality after being disfigured in a car crash. Written and directed by Cameron Crowe, who also produced with Cruise and Paula Wagner, it is an English-language remake of 1997 Spanish film Open Your Eyes, which was scribed by Alejandro Amenabar and Mateo Gil. The supporting cast includes Penelope Cruz, who reprises her role from the original, Kurt Russell, Jason Lee, Noah Taylor, and Cameron Diaz. Vanilla Sky was released on December 14, 2001, and grossed more than $203 million worldwide against a production budget of $68 million, but received mixed critical reception. However, Diaz's performance was widely praised, earning her a Screen Actors Guild and a Golden Globe Award nomination. The song Vanilla Sky by Paul McCartney was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song. The film later gained a cult following. 5, 6, 7.
Plot.
David Ohms, Jr., the owner of a large publishing company he inherited from his father, is in prison. Wearing a prosthetic mask, David tells his life story to court psychologist Dr. Curtis McCabe. In flashbacks, David leaves the duties of the publisher to his father's trusted associates while living as a playboy in Manhattan. He is introduced to Sophia Serrano by his best friend, Brian Shelby, during a party. David and Sophia spend the night together at Sophia's apartment and fall in love, unaware that David's current lover, Julie Johnny, has followed them there. As David leaves, Julie offers him a ride and soon reveals her jealousy of Sophia. She deliberately crashes the car, killing herself and disfiguring David. Doctors cannot repair his face using plastic surgery, forcing David to wear a prosthetic mask, and the mental and physical scarring from the accident causes him to become withdrawn and depressed. David joins Brian and Sophia at a club, but they all leave after David starts an argument while drunk. After David insults them and they part ways, David passes out on the street outside the club. The next day, Sophia returns and apologizes to David. She takes him home. The two form a relationship, and he slowly begins to recover. After surgeons find a way to repair David's face despite their prior prognosis, he is plagued by bizarre experiences, such as brief flashbacks of his disfigurement and an encounter with a mysterious man at a bar who informs him that David is omnipotent, demonstrated by the entire bar falling silent at David's command. One day, while at Sophia's, David awakens to find himself in bed with Julie, whose face has replaced Sophia's in their photographs. In shock, he suffocates Julie. David is arrested and imprisoned, and his facial disfigurement is mysteriously restored. McCabe conducts several more interviews, which serve to help David to recall the name Life Extension. Seeing a company with that name on TV, McCabe arranges to take David there under guard. Rebecca Dearborn, a company representative, explains how Life Extension uses cryonic suspension to save those with terminal illnesses until a cure can be found, keeping them in a lucid dream state to otherwise exercise their mind. David realizes that he is in cryonic suspension and that the world he inhabits is his lucid dream, which has become a nightmare. He escapes McCabe and the guards while calling for tech support and rushes for the building's lobby, which is suddenly empty. An elevator opens, revealing the strange man from the bar. As the elevator climbs to the top of an impossibly tall building, the man explains that he is tech support and that David has been in suspension for 150 years. Unable to face the twin traumas of the loss of his love, Sophia, and his facial injuries, he had opted for Life Extension, to be awakened when technology could repair his face, and left the publishing company in the hands of his father's associates, ultimately overdosing on medication and causing Brian to arrange a 3-day memorial for him in his home. As part of the program, David had chosen to experience a lucid dream in which his life would resume the morning after Sophia left him. However, a glitch in the software had caused other elements of his subconscious to distort his dream. David and tech support emerge on the rooftop, high above the clouds. There, tech support tells David that although they have corrected the flaw, he now has a choice of either being returned to the dream or being restored to life, requiring a literal leap of faith off the roof that will wake him from his sleep. David chooses the latter, despite McCabe warning him against it. Before jumping, David envisions Brian and Sophia to say his goodbyes. He leaps from the edge of the building, and his life flashes before him. A female voice invites him to open his eyes, and the movie ends with a shot of his eye opening and looking at the audience. Cast: Tom Cruise as David Ohms, Jr., Cameron Diaz as Juliana Julie Johnny, Penelope Cruz as Sophia Serrano, Kurt Russell as Dr. Curtis McCabe, Jason Lee as Brian Shelby, Noah Taylor as Edmund Ventura/tech support, Timothy Spall as Thomas Tip, Tilda Swinton as Rebecca Dearborn, Michael Shannon as Aaron, Shalom Harlow as Colleen, Una Hart as Lynette, Ivana Milicevic as Emma, Johnny Galecki as Peter Brown, Alicia Witt as Libby, Ken Leung as art editor, Conan O'Brien as himself, Tommy Lee as a frozen vintage car man, Laura Fraser as the future, Steven Spielberg as a guest at David's party, uncredited.